Hello, Profit Hackers. I'm Jeremy Lott, the Chief Visionary for Foundation Accounting and Consulting. I owned a construction company for about 15 years before making a change to accounting because my accountants sucked. My goals are to simplify accounting for construction company owners, fuel your profits, level up your cash flow, and help you grow in a financially responsible way. So let's go. Hello, Profit Hackers, and welcome back to the Contractors Profit Hackz Show. This is Jeremy Lott, and I am with Foundation Accounting and Consulting. And today we're going to start talking about how to create a budget and how to put that all together. So to start with, I want to focus on a quick story. When I was in, I think, 8th grade, one of our school activities was to go watch the Great Vandermeed at a little, I don't know, what do you call it? A little studio. And the Great Vandermeed was a hypnotist. And we were all excited to watch him work his magic up there and get people hypnotized and then have them do silly things. And it was a lot of fun. And he actually was selling a book on how to hypnotize in the lobby. And one of my friends, Mike Danzy, bought the book. Well, a week or so later, we were all hanging out at Mike's. And we started talking about the hypnotizing thing, and he showed us the book, and we kind of read through it and saw what it was all about. And we decided to give it a try on each other. Well, I found out very quickly that I kind of struggle with focusing and staying focused, which makes it more difficult to hypnotize somebody. So I wasn't very good as the person being hypnotized. But I also found out that following those different techniques, I actually did pretty good at getting my friends hypnotized. And so we continue to play with that. But a few weeks later, it was Christmas, and we were having a party at my parents' house where Santa Claus usually comes. And all of us cousins were hanging out downstairs, and I started telling them about the hypnosis thing, and they decided that it would be pretty funny to try and hypnotize somebody. And so we had one of my younger cousins, sit down, and I started going through the whole process of, focus on your hand, and then a balloon is lifting your hand and your hand is turning towards your face. And when it touches your face, you'll be asleep. And it all worked. It was going great. And we then decided that we were going to tell her that she was Santa Claus and that she had to act like Santa Claus. And so she woke up and she started acting just like Santa Claus and asking everybody if they've been good that year. And she ran upstairs to all the parents and started going around to them asking the same questions. And then she was about to run out the door. Well, I'd set up the fail-safe. I'm not sure what they officially call it in hypnotism, but I'd set it up so that if I touched her shoulder, she would stop. And just as she was about to head out the door, I ran over and tapped her on the shoulder, and she stopped and was very embarrassed about it all. But the reason that I bring that up today is because focus is super important in business. And what we focus on is super important. With the hypnotism, you have to have somebody that can focus. And you kind of guide them and tell them what to focus on, right? And it ends up putting them in that hypnotic state where you can then make suggestions to them. But in business, You need to have a focus, and that focus needs to be your why, what your big why is. Now, you may ask why I'm focusing on that while I'm talking about focus and your why when it comes to budgeting. Well, we budget a little bit differently here with Foundation Accounting and Consulting. We focus instead on budgeting around your why. So it's super important for you to be able to figure out what your why is. And the reason that that's important is because if you have a why to focus on, if you have something that's super important for you to achieve, then hitting that goal is going to be much, much more likely. So we like to go through a simple process with our clients when we start budgeting. And we start off by just asking them, okay, what is it that you want from your business? And they'll give an answer. It's usually along the lines of more money or more freedom with my time or things like that, right? Those are the two big ones. Well, then we ask a second question, and that second question is simply, why? Why do you want more money? Why do you want more time freedom? Those kind of things, right? That's when you start getting into some better answers, where people start talking about how they want enough money to be able to take care of their family and help their kids be able to go through college and those kind of things, right? Well, then after that, we ask again the same question. Why? Why is that important? Why is it important for you to be able to send your kids through college? And as we continue along this line of questioning, we're able to get deeper and deeper and very, very specific on what it is that's important to that person. And the end result, after going through 5 whys, the end result is something very tangible, something you can put a number to, and something that is very important for that person to be able to achieve. It also creates the drive and the motivation to work toward that goal and actually meet that goal. And so to wrap up for today, focus is very important. And what you need to focus on is your why. And if you focus on your why, then everything else will fall into place. And the best way to find your why is to go through this process of asking yourself or having somebody else ask you, why do you want that? Why is that important? And do it 5 times. So we call it the 5 whys, right? So everybody take a minute, go and do your 5 whys and figure out what it is that you really want, what you can focus on that will help motivate you to achieve your goals. So this is Jeremy with Foundation Accounting and Consulting, and I will talk to you next time. Thanks for listening. If you found this episode helpful, please like and subscribe for weekly episodes to help you fuel your profit, level up your cash flow, and finance your growth. Until next time, go enjoy some green M&Ms and protect that cash.